John Lilly once put it this way: there are no limits at all to the human mind whatsoever, except those we impose on ourselves because of our beliefs. And those limits are also beliefs to be transcended. And that's a view that suggests that the possibilities of human transformation are virtually infinite. And we have no way of knowing the outer horizon of what it means to be human.
And really, to understand all this, everything, you have to go very, very deep into a study of history, consciousness, neurophysiology, everything. You have to be the supreme eclectic type of leaning, and you really have to be wanting to know who you are and what everything's about.
And the thing that you'll find when you go to sacred sites, if you're very humble about it, is that you are on a personal journey, and the sacred site will respond to you in a way that is appropriate only to you. The information is always what you are searching for. And it's the intent you give that energy that defines whether it is used for right action or not. And it is inside these sacred spaces that you will be reminded that you are a god, that you are a bright star.
So what you're trying to do is move through the course without ricocheting off walls or creating karma. You're trying to slide through things smoothly. How do you do that? It's called flowing. There's a technique that you can do that will allow you to touch some part of your inner being that has more knowledge than your conscious state does.
Welcome guys, this is Andre Hodge, 7 of Truth, Infinite Potential Healing with you once more in a very unique and original way for myself. I am going to do a live recording of my Earth Mother Pranic Healing. It's July the 19th, bit late in the evening, so you can't see me, I'm just on my headset with a different sounding mic. This is the usual setup I do for client sessions and stuff, so just a bit of background on this. Took me a long time during 2022 to get on my game. There's been some stuff going on with me. Long story short, I had some J-seals inserted into me, not having the reverse engineer of understanding what was going on until finally worked out certain stuff, and worked out that a lot of my experiences over the time of my awakening are basically having an issue with me. I'll just be very polite, but long story short, I got to the conclusion after going through the Ashiana stuff that me as a fractal of the whole, and everyone, most people in the spiritual community have been sabotaged to prevent us actually understanding what's going on and stuff. So the reason why I'm just saying all this is because I've come to that conclusion after a very long journey, and then realizing that I was able to clear all that because I had the coordinates of it. So I'm very good at self-healing. On top of what I do, I wouldn't do what I do unless I was good at that. And long story short, it got me into new territory. Like been on top of my game, the best I've ever been, for about 6 weeks now. The last full moon I was in my sacred site doing grid work and crystal work and stuff, setting up for some people and that. And then just before the June 21st solstice, I really got on my game that weekend, and I helped clear a couple of the allies around me very, very thoroughly. And ever since, I've been chomping at the bit on my game, entering new sort of territory for me, which has been quite exciting, and really, really feeling the best I've ever felt. Feel like I'm 10 years younger and stuff. So I've just been primed, ready to go, helping the people that come and seek me and doing my videos and stuff, but also really appreciating how things are in the world and being primed for whatever else there is. So I've been brewing for Galactic Special Forces level stuff. So on the 30th of June, I felt really good, and I did a pranic healing on me after I woke up and eased into my day. I was so out of it, high frequency, I decided to do Earth Pranic Healing that day. And I would never do anything unless I am on my game. I'm very, very responsible. If I cause harm and stuff, I'm responsible for it. I follow up and I'll fix it and stuff. So I don't do that stuff lightly. And it felt really good. And there's a bit of a video about that I released, and I did a Facebook post and Instagram post about it. But what I'm feeling is, it's hard to believe that that's 3 weeks later, 3 weeks ago. So I've been really ready to go. And so over the weekend, it's quite interesting. I've been sort of helping some of my allies. I did about three-hour sessions on my Wednesday last week, and I was raring to go more and stuff, and had to follow up with a couple of the people as well, which really got them into their top of their game sort of thing. And on the weekend, it was quite interesting. I've got this ally I just allude to as Captain Marvel. Shout out to you, my dear. Thank you for all your backup. She's like galactic bodyguard, just clobbering everything and stuff. And she's a cross between Captain Marvel, and the interesting thing is, if in that movie on Captain Marvel, there's, I believe, I haven't seen it for a year or two, but Captain Marvel was taken over by the Kree, hijacked, and she had a chip on her left side of her neck, which was quite interesting because someone I was dealing with, J-Seals, had a very big chip on their left side like that. So she's a cross between Captain Marvel being a the energy body sort of, I forget the name of it right now, that's interesting. Doctor Strange, because she goes off into Dreamtime and destroys all the multi-dimensional false Dreamtime realities and stuff. And a bit like Harley Quinn, because she's like, at the start of Suicide Squad, she's like, play with me, she's bored, so she wants to be messed with, and then she just like plays with them like a cat, and they run away screaming or they get destroyed, alright? And the reason why I just bring her up is she said something interesting on Saturday, that there was a pretty significant effort to hack her Dreamtime, which is like, bringing the big guns to try and mess with her and stuff. And the reason why I say that is that last time when I did the Earth Pranic Healing, cleared the North Pole, and there was a lot of entities sort of in that region and stuff. And I have no doubt there's a lot of frackery going on with people in their dream times and stuff. There has been with me in the past and that, and a lot of multi-dimensional discrediting going on and stuff. And depends how long this goes. I'm only going to try and make it half an hour or whatever. We'll see how long it goes. So yeah, I might include a clip relative. Oh, I'm getting hacking to my parasympathetic and legs already. It's interesting. When I play, I'm up for it. Yeah, it doesn't like me talking about this. Well, let's talk about it a lot. I can't wait. Alright, so there's a clip that I might include at the end. Thanks to Carlene for sending me this. There's so much of Ashiana stuff out there. She sent me this pretty cool 20-minute video, but in that there was a section about the misguided sexual sort of stuff going on in the astral realm, which is basically false. Anything to do with sexual stuff in Dreamtime and astral really want to clobber that out, alright? Because there's basically another long story short, because as I said, I've been brewing for stuff and it just needs to see what plays out. But sharing notes with someone, worked out that basically if you've watched the Echo series, which is up to part 6, I think it was the first 2 was talking about the Ayani massacre, and I've never included clips of Ashiana, but I might go and find them and put them together so people can actually hear her talking about it. But the Ayani massacre happened about 25,000 years ago, and it was in Hawaii. There was the last bastion on the surface that was anchoring the Guardian, sort of aligned with Earth society, when a lot of the other areas were all corrupt. And the Ayani massacre was when Thoth, aka Loki in Asgard, sort of allowed negative species to infiltrate and then hijack all the people, and some really disgusting sexual misguided stuff was done to a lot of the females, and there were twin souls, so the males were really disgusting stuff was done to them, and the women were used to breed Anunnaki souls into this reality with their skin suit technology to be the bit like the orcs in Lord of the Rings. So the orcs in that are like the elves that have been hijacked, their DNA sort of thing, to do misguided stuff with negative souls. So what we worked out of Ray is that the Ayani massacre didn't just happen then, it's been ongoing since, and we've got a few people, I've had 3 people now that I know that one's had Quetzalcoatl in her dream time when she's been pregnant on the run to prevent her being hijacked by that Thoth sort of stuff. There's been other people that I won't even get into that are just so misguided. And I also had this other girl that I've alluded to in the past called Audrey, who her soul was trying to be injected by another species to take over her body skin suit, because she could portal in a lot of stuff to prevent an invasion. That was late 2020. So yeah, just a lot of that sort of stuff. If you've been thorough in the Ashiana stuff, it hasn't ended, and I've been helping people clear all that stuff up. So yeah, the incarnation war has been in full effect, and it's still been ongoing for all that time. So very interesting metaphor that I'll just drop in now is the TV series. If you've got Disney, there's an Obi-Wan Kenobi series that's come out recently, and the metaphor I've got with that is after the Ayani massacre was successful and the occupation of the surface was complete. So the surface was like the domination was potential was complete, and then what was happening is that the hunting down of the Magi, aka Jedi, alright? So that series is like after the metaphor of the Jedi fall is like the Ayani massacre, and the hunting of the Magi, aka Jedi, by the Inquisitor, the negative Jedis, aka the Leviathan skin suits of these Anunnaki sort of thing. A bit like I used the metaphor in the Echo series of the Chronicles of Riddick. With Vin Diesel, that second movie is a bit like the Anunnaki from my perspective, like just brutal, no conscience, want absolute domination like the Empire sort of thing. So yeah, that's an interesting series to take on board if you're feeling stuff. But about all this Guardian founder being sort of thing, because all we want is peace, guys, and these buggers are playing hardball, and a lot of people out there are starting to feel it. Maybe a lot of people have never felt challenge in their life, and they're feeling it for the first time, and it's quite unsettling. So in the recalibration shows, I've told I've suggested to pull your energy back, not to take on board everything else, because probably what you're feeling isn't yours. There's a lot of uncertainty and all that, but yeah, just go and listen to those shows and take on the advice. I give that advice sparingly because I've always been work hard, like take on board the hardship, see what comes out of it, use it as energetic weights. But yeah, we'll see what happens. So that's a bit of an intro, some of the things I've felt and haven't mentioned yet. But what I'm going to do is get into the pranic healing. I don't want to really take too long. There's a couple of things I usually do. There's something called a sweep, and then I usually clear the chakras of people. And this is a message to all you guys that have had sessions with me, and I've said this, but you might have got complacent. If you've done the infinite potential healing sessions with me that include the pranic healing, I've always done the recordings and identified the chakras that I'm working on with you as we've had conversations. That recording you can use as a healing anytime. And the reason why I mentioned the Ashiani and the astral sort of stuff is that I absolutely do not entangle with that shit, alright? If you got an opening there, you got to watch it, and that will get messed with to try and discredit me, alright? I'm just offering this and this clip at the end if I do it, because I'm not looking to entangle, I'm not looking to train or anything like that. I'm just purely offering it as a healing, because what might happen is you might drift off or go to sleep or nap if you're using the salt packs as well, and you'll get healings without me. I'm trying to provide people with the tools to self-manage and stuff, so I invite you guys to try and do that. And perhaps you guys that are listening to this, if you've invested in it, maybe get some salt packs and listen and see how you go. I know I got a lot of people pop up last time when I did it. So one guy that was into Keylonic science that I haven't heard from in 5 or 6 years, and I thought he was dead, and he messaged me an hour later. So but yeah, obviously there's a lot going on in the world, and I'm ready to go, and I haven't really found others other than that one ally that I mentioned. She's in the background, she's not here to be public, she doesn't want to entangle with anyone, she's got enough responsibility on her plate with what she has to do and what she's been doing the last 10 years. And I've done some discernment, I'll just say, and I'm just probably going to be very content doing stuff on my own, alright? Actually revealed a lot, alright? So the two things I do with pranic healing, I do a sweep and say, it doesn't matter for me if it's a planet or it's an individual or it's myself. The energy is the same and the intent is the same. And I actually did pranic healing and a lot of healing on my crystal map before with PMF and infrared, because we're 4 degrees here tonight, so I hope you feel, if you're feeling the heat wherever you are, you can tune into the cold here. It's pretty cold and my hands are going to be pretty cold, so I might be sending some light cooling wherever I sweep. But yeah, the way pranic healing sees us is we're 1,000 cones or source of light from our core, and the sweep part is like combing of our energy, light emanating from our core. So you imagine it's like we've got energy, it's like doing an energetic comb of our energy body, which is really nice. A lot of people like it, can clear entities and chips and all that just from that. So I do that around the planet. And when I go with people, I go the spleen front and back. Pranic healing is awesome because, and this is, a lot of people think the heart or whatever is the most important organ. To me, I'm actually, from understanding pranic healing, the spleen is actually core, because the spleen, you might not know from an energetic level on the pranic healing side, is the universal life force sponge organ on the multidimensional. So a lot of entities can hook into our spleen. You go look on the map on a location of the body, it's just below the left side of the rib cage, and that's a source of nourishment our bodies can get. So when that's clear, it can blast out a lot of stuff through our meridians and all that sort of stuff. So I work on people's spleens a lot. I might spend 15 minutes on the spleens each side, because a lot of people that come to me, it's like the last resort and they're beaten up and so it gets their engine going, and then I also do the spleen front and back, and then I do the parasympathetic tailbone and medulla and the vagus nerve, parasympathetic nervous system to clear out stuff. Then I'll go to the front, all the chakras at the front, to the base, and down the back as well, and I'll just clear off. So I usually take quite a bit and invest quite a lot in an individual. So the way I do it with the planet is I do the sweep, and then I just focus on regions of the earth. And obviously, if you look at the date, what's going on, there's a lot of stuff going on in Europe and America, all around the world. So the last time I did it on the 30th, it was interesting. I did the oceans as well, and I did the South Pole, which like what I'll do first is do the sweep, and then I'll go North Pole and South Pole, and then I'll go into the core of the earth, and I operate from a 12D perspective, because this is a really cool thing that many of you might I've had a few questions about people like, what do I need to do to the 12D, whatever, blah blah blah. Well, this is my suggestion for you, alright? And I've said I use the reference of the video I did about manifestation called Director of Your Own Destiny, where if you think you have a gap, you create the gap, alright? So I'll use the mechanics which I was thinking about, because in me, like, you might be hearing this and you might underestimate me that I can do this, alright? And that's cool. But the underestimation is, and I'll just do it from you, like me, you're into this and into the stuff I'm into and I've offered, and you can discern me all you want, but those of you that have feel an alignment and stuff to everything that I've been involved in over the years and stuff, I just want to offer you this. You're probably already aligned to your 12D or whatever D, alright? The reason why I use 12D is it's like a bar that most of the other negatives can't get to, alright? And what will happen is the underestimation thing about people around you, right? It's probably because they can't access that, and what they're trying to do is project onto you that you're less than me, because they want you in their hierarchy, alright? They want you to feel inferior to them because they're actually inferior to you, alright? So just listen to that mechanics, but because you're compassionate, humble, and still trying to find your way, you could acquiesce into that when you're actually superior to them, alright? So I just wanted to offer that, because it's time we need to actually own our shit, alright? And maybe that underestimation is sort of trying to insert shit so you believe you're not what you are, because to me, all the years that I've been doing all this stuff, I've never had really anyone being able to tell me who I am or what I'm around. And it's through extensive exploration that I've come to accept me how I am, because it's quite technical what I've done, and I won't go into it any more than that, but I'll just offer that, alright? It's come by a very, very long process of self-acceptance, and I'm just inviting you to self-accept in the background. Continue going on your path, but have it as a variable there until you come to the marriage of it in yourself, alright? But just hold it as a variable and like play that variable when you interact with people, and sense how you feel, because there'll be a distortion there, and that distortion would be your gut saying, nah, bullshit. Something to discern here, alright? So I'm going to get into it. That's a bit long, 20 minutes. So I have to use isopropyl alcohol, 70%, because the awesome thing about pranic healing is it's all about energy hygiene. And when I did it, it was only the second place I'd ever heard of the word energy hygiene, and it's all about it. So again, my attitude with pranic healing, and I've got codes to activate and all this sort of stuff, but all I am doing is I'm removing the abrasiveness of this world from us, alright? I see my body, and everyone's body as the DNA tech is amazing. It's incredible technology, even after the Babylon massacre that's limited us down to what we are. You got to see all the shit going on in the world. It's just to try and hinder us. I know one thing that was forgotten. I was in Sydney, and the government gave away light globes with mercury in them. That was 2009, and everywhere around the world, everyone's light globes changed, and they got mercury, so they're broadcasting mercury frequency, and that was just something 10 years ago, alright? And we've overcome all that stuff, so we are a relentless being in an amazing skin suit technology on this blessing of a planet that everyone wants, Earth Mother. So I just want to thank her for her trust in me to allow me to do this after a long journey to get to this time. So any of you out here that are listening to this throughout time, I hope wherever you are, wherever I cover, you get a benefit and see what you get, see how you feel. Alright, so I'm just going to get into my zone. I'm not sure whether I'll edit between areas and stuff, but what I'm going to see is what comes up and what I'll speak. Because usually when I do sessions with people, I ask questions, and I get the data of the reaction of the body relative to the person processing the information, because the body energy reveals a lot. Interesting, I'm getting my spleen saying that. So we'll see, maybe I'll give Earth a lot more energy here. So I'm just going to start the suite. I usually do the suite from 3 different angles around it, from the side. You guys that have perception, feel free to tune in. You're not going to do anything to me, alright? I'm on my game. And if you do, then I'll just find out where you are on the planet. I'll just freaking throw you into the Phantom Matrix pot that I chuck all the energy, alright? So you're welcome to tune in and observe and see what you get. And if anyone needs any help, this is why I'm doing it as well. So unfortunately it's tough. No investment, no value, and I've given a lot of healings away and it doesn't really work. Alright? So I hold my line to be able to, I'm going to invest into these sort of things now, and we'll see what happens in the future. Maybe this is a once off, maybe this is a regular thing. This is an exploration of me, or an expression of me on my game to serve. So I'm going to start with the North Pole and then I'll go to the South Pole. We'll see what happens. But like I said, the reason what made me bring this up was what happened to my ally. So I'm sure there's a lot going on with other people, and they don't have the ability to even comprehend what's going on. So my aim with this is just to return her to a source frequency without any of the bullshit going on. Because I got a heads up of some stuff that I don't think is right as well since. So if that's not a match, then I'm just helping her return to a source, whatever it is. Getting stuff down my left forearm. Usually what happens is I get entities try and wrap around and hit me and stuff. I'm getting stuff in my right calf, left calf on the outside. It's interesting. So I'm working on the North Pole of Earth, which can be the dream time. So the way I see it when I'm involved with people is that I work on a chakra, and it reveals an area on the body which I can feel the impact. So I'm just going to tell you what I feel in my body relative to what is being done to it to affect us. Alright? So anyone listening throughout time, you might feel energy relief or whatever going on in those regions. We'll just play with it. It's new territory for me, so I'm just going to express what I feel. I feel stuff down my left side and my left hip, side of the left hand, a lot down the left. Chest, left breast area, underarm, armpit, inside left shin, something trying to hack in there. So my metaphor of expression is I'm here to facilitate Earth to be her truth to humanity, and anything that's trying to interfere with that is violating what she wants from my perspective. So that's my state. I'm here to facilitate the removal of anything that's interfering with that direct source connection to our amazing home. So I'm going to go to the South Pole. I'm not going to spend too much time. I'm just going to do it and try and be a bit more proactive and be do this as an outlet for my primed, ready for GSF stuff, which I don't really feel like I'm going to be able to do too much with other people going forward. But we'll see what happens. So I'm just working on the South Pole. I'm from the base on the side. Last time I was looking in. I'm doing that again. So anything aligned with the Phantom Matrix below 12D doing negative stuff to humanity. That's the sort of mechanics. And I'm not violating an individual who has a contract to probably resolve it themselves. I'm here as an ally to the higher selves and other aspects to clear all that up. Feeling a bit of pressure on my third eye, right breast area. So I'm going to go through the entire globe from an energetic level to the dimensional level I said. Anything trying to interfere with that. I didn't feel the block I felt from the toroidal energy this time, but we'll just not let anything be there that's getting stuck my left outside shoulder blade. Give Earth Mother a multi-dimensional massage. So I'm going to start on the east coast of the US. I usually start there. A lot of the political, government, money, all down the whole North America, east coast. Anything less than 12D that's negative, that has no place here, that's causing influence, you're welcome to leave. Because if I catch you, I'm not here to take prisoners. I don't care. All the galactic political organizations to me are corrupt. Ooh. I got something big on my right inside shoulder blade saying that. Clearing the east coast of the US. Yocon. No more negative impact of anyone in alignment with Earth Mother. Any political organizations, money systems. So I'm going to do the West Coast Outside right arm, just above the elbow. Do the central US. Do the Atlantic Ocean. Getting outside right knee, just below the knee shin bone. Getting upper outside left thigh. Underneath the right bicep on the inside. You'd do Europe's obviously on the radar. I'll probably come back to that at the end. My Dutch DNA, I was aiming to get into Europe 2020. Started 2020. So I'm going to start out West Europe, England and Ireland. Getting just above my hairline at the front. Just the knuckle on the hand of the left hand of the middle finger, where the knuckle and the hand joins. Getting the inside right knee, the crown. Getting the right bicep. That's interesting, quite a bit. So I'm going to do the west coast of the continent, all down the west. Actually, I'll focus on Brussels. You bastards. Switzerland. Now the west coast, all the way down to Portugal, France, Spain. I'm going to go Italy and all down the Mediterranean, over to Turkey. Just under the left eye, on the cheek. Now I'll do Holland and Germany, Netherlands and Germany. I'm going to do a fair bit on them. Whatever is not being done in the harmony of the betterment of the people, enjoy. Right knee going over Netherlands and all that region. Germany, go the Baltic, all the northern countries, got something in my left belly button gut region, the top of the calf just below the right knee, so I'm going to do Eastern Europe, got right bicep again, all the way down to Turkey, and the Black Sea, so go over Ukraine. Last time I had stuff hacking into my tailbone. Top of right foot, end of little finger on my right hand. It's just like a bit of a negative, pussy abscess that's been sending a lot of energy to the rest of the Europe through its tentacles. Do Russia, the whole Russia and the whole of Eurasia, around to India and all the subcontinent, Himalayas, back of the left calf, top of the back head, on the left side, so I'll do Northern Asia, Japan and Alaska and all that, all the way down China, down to Malaysia and Indonesia, Philippines, anything military, into the Pacific Ocean, all of it, down the South America coast, New Zealand, Hawaii, from North Pole to South Pole, the whole ocean. To South America, from the west coast all the way down to the South Pole. I did that from the west coast US all the way down to the South Pole last time. It felt like whatever's going on there is feeding down to the South Pole and blocking it. So I'm going to do the whole in the west, sorry, the east, the Caribbean and all that region. Now I'm getting the tailbone. That's interesting. Do the Southern Atlantic. So I'm going to South America, South Africa, like the main continent, all the way down to the south. The northern Middle East, all the way through. Go up to the Middle East and Turkey, all that region, all the way across to subcontinent, Pakistan, Afghanistan, India. Pakistan and India. What I worked out, the Kashmir and Afghanistan, there's indigo birth sort of regions, so that's why there's a lot of conflict in those regions. So I'm going to do the Black and Caspian Seas, all that region. Do the Mediterranean. So we do the Indian Ocean. Including Singapore, Bali, Indonesia, East Timor, all the way down to Antarctic, Madagascar. Australia, West Coast. Right bicep. quite a bit in my body in different areas. Interesting. Gonna go down the east coast. All the way down to Tasmania and Antarctic. To all the central Australia, including north to south. It's interesting, getting a lot in my gut on the right side, just under rib cage, right eye. Front shoulders and back shoulders, right temple, gonna do the Southern Ocean. And do New Zealand and the Tasman Sea. All the way down to Antarctica. So I'll just do the Southern Pacific. And all the islands of the Pacific, Coral Sea. So I don't want this to be too long. I'm just going to do a sweep of the earth. I'm not rushing it, I'm just being very thorough but efficient. So thank you, Earth Mother, for allowing me this privilege. I don't do this very lightly, it's not a joke, guys. You try it, good luck to you. It doesn't feel as dense as last time. I was getting stuff all wrapped around my arms, like entities and all that sort of stuff. I think that Toyota thing was pretty epic, so should do a sweep of the North Pole. Sweep of the South Pole. So yeah, see how you go, guys. As I said, I'm not sure if I'll include the clip, but if I do, just be very discerning of stuff, misguided, aka sexual stuff related to astral or dream time sort of stuff. There's Kundalini harvesting beings out there that are very advanced and they can tap into that and they harvest you. And I felt some hacking this week from someone that, yeah, I won't say too much, but yeah, if I include the clip, just a little bit will be after it. So I just offer this around me, and you can discern me is that I say my attitude is like a 10-year-old, and sexual shit didn't matter then. You know what I mean? We're just purely innocent kids back in my day in the 80s, alright? This world is very different now.
But yes, you can pass it on with your mate. In fact, one of the strongest ways to pass on activations is in the combining, when mates combined.
Right.
Because your field's open to each other.
Right.
Okay? This has been a tactic that's been being used to mess up the DNA code of a lot of the Iati Council that aren't awakened yet. They're trying to pair them with Draconians, or they're trying to pair them with Anunnaki. And the sad thing is, the people that have the Draconian and Anunnaki codes don't know it. Their matrices don't tell them that. They just think they're regular humans like anybody else. But they happen to be used, they guide them into relationships, just when indigos are trying to awaken, usually. Right. And they try to hijack them. And if they get them involved sexually and get those fields open, they start to contaminate the indigo's DNA template. Yeah. All right, so this has been going on all through the New Age movement, but it's been going on all through human history since at least 22,500 BC, actually, but it's been upstepped lately. So yes, you can use that principle in reverse for good things. Right. You can bring the frequencies, Maharic frequencies, into your field and pass them on to your mates or to your lovers. You can even pass them on to a smaller degree in a hug to someone. Mm-hmm. But you always ask first. If you can't ask them directly because you have to explain a billion things they're not going to understand, put out a call to their own avatar level and say, is it okay if I do this? Because you don't put anything in anybody's field without asking permission. And if they can't answer you here because they don't have the knowledge base to where your words are going to make sense, you do have the right to, from your avatar level, bring in that silver level of yourself, that pale silver avatar self, and ask your avatar level to ask their avatar level if it is all right that you bring this frequency to them. And you'll get a feeling. I mean, if you have direct, open communication, you'll get a yes or no, or maybe, or not today, maybe next week. But if it's a no at that moment, you'll get a feeling, not right to do right now. There's something that doesn't feel right, that I get a feeling that I'm not supposed to. But usually, the answer will be yes, unless they're not ready to hold whatever frequency. Okay? So you can use the regular twinning effect to help. Think about the twinning for a while, though, and how neat, because I don't want everybody to leave here on, oh my God, it's that bad. You know, yuck. You know, we have all this work to do, and how dare they do that? They're not very nice. That's not a good vibe to send people away on, and I don't want to do that. There's one aspect of this that is very, very joyful, and that has to do with the twinning. Be it your twin, your gender twin, or the closest match they can possibly find. Once in a while you'll have a gender twin that's off someplace else, like literally in another universe, that is not going to be able to bring it through, but that's not too many, but some are like that. You will still be assigned with a buddy, either in the astral, if that's where you want it, or in the physical. They'll bring someone into your life that you have the closest DNA template match to. What that means is, you know how men and women tend to just have this thing sometimes, or they have a real hard time understanding each other, this like gender barrier thing? That is very, very much less, particularly in indigo children, gender twinnings, or even close matches. So that's something to look forward to. There is one more thing, I'm glad I came back to this, that I didn't say, that I need to say. When we're talking about the astral, we're talking about the astral plane, or the D4 level, where you can take your astral body, and there's a lot of people, it's getting really popular in the New Age movement to have all these wonderful astral affairs with beings from all over the place. I met a lady who likes to sleep with Dracos because they're really good in bed. That's what she talks about. Astral relationships with draconian hybrids, great. There's others that are really, really very enamored by the pretty, pretty Palladian Nibiruans, who look so angelic, and they're usually gorgeous. Well, at least that's how they present themselves. Once upon a time, astral affairs were fine. When you're in a time like this, they're the most dangerous thing you can do. When you're sent, if you end up for some reason that your gender twin is not in a physical body, or you just aren't open to having that quite in the physical, where you'd be more comfortable with an astral relationship, there's one thing that will not, absolutely not, be occurring in the astral relationships. They will not turn into what feel like and look like sexual affairs there. They may end up here as sexual bonding and committed relationships and things, but because right now the tactic of sending in wonderful astral lovers to seduce humans is being used by both Draconian and Anunnaki forces for one reason. You take your astral body out, you go and have an affair, it's the same darn thing as linking your fields sexually here with someone here. They're doing code saturation of the DNA template. And people are falling for it. There's articles popping up even in like the Inquirer and the Sun papers now about beautiful aliens coming and having romantic affairs with humans, and taking them out of body and all this. This is even hitting like the Sun now. When you look at the Sun type tabloids, these are the ones that tell you little info bites on what's really going on, but it's all presented as fiction, of course. No, everybody knows you don't believe those stories, right? Be aware that even though the tactic used to be used in the ancient of days when it was safe to use it, where when your gender twin would meet you on the astral, you could have intimacy there that could even hit levels that the physical body couldn't even attain. That will not be used by guardians from this point forth, because there's other ways to bond the fields that do not engage the full, what appears to be sexual interaction on D4. There are ways to naturally bond the fields, and your gender twin and you will be able to do that, where somebody infiltrating your field would have to do different types of infiltration to try to get in, because they don't have the DNA compatibility. But if they can get you to willingly open your fields by having astral sexual encounter, easy, got one. It's being used all the time. So I just want you to know that I've said there may be gender twins approaching you in the astral level, or guides or something approaching you telling you about gender twins. If any of them that appear to you or come to you in the astral try to get you into a sexual astral liaison, reject it immediately. If it's your gender twin, it won't do it that way, and it won't go into that, just so you won't be tricked. Okay? It's important.
So yeah, see how you go, guys. As I said, I'm not sure if I'll include the clip, but if I do, just be very discerning of stuff, misguided, aka sexual stuff related to astral or dreamtime sort of stuff. There's Kundalini harvesting beings out there that are very advanced, and they can tap into that, and they harvest you. And I felt some hacking this week from someone that, I won't say too much, but if I include the clip, just a little bit will be after it. So I just offer this around me, and you can discern me, is that I say my attitude is like a 10-year-old, and sexual shit didn't matter then. You know what I mean? We're just purely innocent kids back in my day in the 80s, alright? This world is very different now. But, and the professionalism comes from being an IT engineer, where dealing with clients and never mixing business with pleasure. It's always a very professional, courteous sort of environment, but never respecting the boundaries and stuff of people. So coming from a professional aspect of doing healings and stuff, it's never mixed that stuff, right? So I do clear a lot on that with people, because they're being very messed with. And I think those of you that have felt the courage to disarm and trust me and explore and stuff and see where we go, because I've had some really epic sort of clearings and realizations that have gone on. And just remember what I said at the start about I forget what I said now, I'm pretty high frequency, but being underestimated, alright? Don't underestimate yourself. Be humble like the dust, but hold yourself at infinite level, alright? I'm all about infinite potential and setting people up to be self-sufficient. I don't look to hook people in, create a money harvesting system and all that sort of stuff. I see it as this might be the only time that I ever meet you, and I'm here to do my best. So you guys out there, thanks for seeking me out and stuff, and I hope you're all doing well. I really enjoy the time I've had with you guys, and all those others out there that I haven't had the chance to do, and I've had to be really quite strict until I got into this new territory of me, which is very, very clear and on my game, and I can really feel what's coming at me and stuff. So my defense is pretty epic now, so I'm able to operate in different ways. So but yeah, I hope you get something from this, something pretty unique. Not happens every day. This might be the only one I do, or I might look to do it pretty ongoing as a different outlet. But just don't let your will get crushed, alright? Just realize that you may not be feeling what you're feeling based on how you're feeling. You may be picking up a lot in the region or earth from others. And just realize this. You've probably been through a lot more shit in the past that you don't even know. Like I said about the Obi-Wan Kenobi, might be a good show to watch and feel what you feel with that. I think those of you that I'm honored to have included in your journey by listening to what I do, you're pretty freaking badass in a soul, and you've worked so hard on so many levels, and probably we've had whole teams to just get us to here now. So don't give up. It's just the third quarter. We're down by a few, but we've still got the rest of the game to go, and we've got our jetpacks of potential that we haven't even known that we've had. Alright, so that's why the last video I did, when the going gets tough, the tough awaken. Alright, so allow the reality to enhance what you're brewing. Alright, just like me, like I feel like I'm on the top of the game that I've never been before. Alright, so thank you for including me. Thank you for allowing me to be a part of your journey, and I hope you get something from this. And if you get healed, all the more better. But lots of love, guys. Until next time, Andre out.
John Lilly once put it this way: there are no limits at all to the human mind whatsoever, except those we impose on ourselves because of our beliefs. And those limits are also beliefs to be transcended. And that's a view that suggests that the possibilities of human transformation are virtually infinite. And we have no way of knowing the outer horizon of what it means to be human.
And really, to understand all this, everything, you have to go very, very deep into a study of history, consciousness, neurophysiology, everything. You have to be the supreme eclectic type of leaning, and you really have to be wanting to know who you are and what everything's about.
And the thing that you'll find when you go to sacred sites, if you're very humble about it, is that you are on a personal journey, and the sacred site will respond to you in a way that is appropriate only to you. The information is always what you are searching for. And it's the intent you give that energy that defines whether it is used for right action or not. And it is inside these sacred spaces that you will be reminded that you are a god, that you are a bright star.
So what you're trying to do is move through the course without ricocheting off walls or creating karma. You're trying to slide through things smoothly. How do you do that? It's called flowing. There's a technique that you can do that will allow you to touch some part of your inner being that has more knowledge than your conscious state does.